Good evening and welcome to the Sports Locker. Tonight we mark the beginning of something special in Gibraltar sport. Since joining UEFA, women's football on the rock has been growing steady, building foundations, creating pathways and inspiring the next generation. But now that growth is turning into something even bigger. For the first time in history, the Gibraltar women's national football team are preparing to compete in World Cup qualifiers. It's a milestone moment, not just for the players and staff, but for Gibraltar as a whole. Joining me tonight to talk about all things women's football is Gibraltar's head coach, Stella Gottal, Captain Shania Rova, Naomi Victor and Tiffany Viegas. Thank you so much for coming along.
Thank you for the invitation.
Let's quickly touch upon the Nations League, which finished in June, as we look ahead to this next campaign. Quite a while now, must have been quite surreal, Shania, for the first competitive tournament. The next one just around the corner. How do we feel now?
Yeah, I mean, we had great campaigns at the end of last season, and I think it's a good chance at least for us to start growing and building, starting to keep role modelling for the younger generations. But now, like I said, you know, football always keeps on going, so it's just about how we can build from there and best prepare for the World Cup qualifiers. That begins very soon.
Begins very soon. What lessons did we learn from the Nations League that are we hoping to build upon and take on to this next campaign, Naomi?
I do believe we have to respect the opponent like we always do now, and there's a lot of commitment and dedication, and we have to be responsible on the pitch and be together as a team to get anything, you know, any score, any outcome out of it.
Tiffany, the results were challenging, at least later on, but we did have a good promising start back then. How much of a confidence boost was that, and do we look back upon those results where we so narrow defeats 1-0 with motivation?
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, for those first two games were also our first ever games in a competition such as the Nations League. So I think it was something very motivating to see, and to see that our hard work throughout the years had eventually paid off to work hard and to get those results. But I think as a team, we've been working even harder, and I think now we've got other goals, you know, not to just compete, but also to, you know, get those 3 points every time we get out on that pitch. And I think that's a credit to the coaching staff and to us as players, that we put ourselves to that level and to hold ourselves accountable for that as well.
You mentioned the coaching staff, new coach now, Stella, thank you very much. What did you feel when you were given the job, and also when you were applying to be a head coach? I mean, what was your mindset like, knowing at what level or what infancy Gibraltar national football was here for the women?
Well, first of all, thank you again for the invitation. When I accepted the role, I think that somehow the most important thing was the project around the women's national team, and especially the historical appearance in the World Cup qualifiers. Knowing that UEFA somehow and FIFA changed the format, maybe of the FIFA of the World Cup, but UEFA on how to get to the World Cup somehow also attracted me. Because maybe, let's say in the past, you could maybe play immediately against World Cup champion or maybe European champion. But this time maybe we can be more competitive, even in our first historical appearance at the World Cup. And maybe, like Tiffany already mentioned, to fight on the pitch and to get those 3 points.
As fate would have it, Croatia, you are from Croatia, are in our group. Croatia's in a group. You were there watching the draw live. What was going through your mind when you watched your home country be drawn?
Well, to be honest, let's say that a lot of head coaches sit there in the same room, and everyone look towards to me, and everyone started to laugh. But for me, I respect Croatia because somehow it's my hometown country. But on the other hand, I'm fully committed to Gibraltar because, yes, in football there are emotions, but somehow we coaches learn on how to deal with those emotions and somehow to give our best to help to our team to compete.
Shania, now with a new coach, you've been working on new things, I imagine. When you look back at those difficult fixtures from the Nations League, what do you think has improved that perhaps the public might not notice?
I mean, as a whole, you know, the openness that Stella brings has inspired us all, I think. She's very approachable, and all the staff as well, and it's something that we're not scared to ask for feedback, we're not scared to ask for advice. And, you know, yeah, the 3 points are really important, but we know what we're working towards in the long run here. And I think, as a whole, the project and the staff aligning with it has been great for everyone involved, and I think it's given us that extra push, that direction and an overall purpose in what we're doing, and I think that has inspired me and all of us even more so, and we've all grown to respect Stella, and we see her as someone to definitely look up to.
Full of praise for you, eh, Stella? I'll ask you again when she's not around. But Naomi, we hear so much about Stella's great coaching abilities. I mean, tell us a bit about how things have changed under her.
I think it's the first ever time we've got a female coach as well under us, and I think the girls feel more comfortable in approaching her. Not only because she's a woman, but because she's approachable. She's outside of the pitch. She's quite friendly with us. She's understandable, and then also on the pitch she's quite strict, which is normal on a coach. No, you can't just always be nice. And I think the girls have understood clearly the message she's now trying to put across to us, and how important these games are, and the project and the future, no, for us. And I think, yeah, the girls realise the hard work she's giving us, and we are now trying to show her, you know, that we can also give her hard work back.
Tiffany, tactically, what's changed? Has much changed?
I would say yes and no. I think Stella has obviously had the chance to watch us back for the games that we played in the Nations League. So obviously there's tweaks and formations and stuff, but as a team, I think we take on information quite well, and we're ready for any challenge that Stella puts us for these games that are coming up.
Naomi and Janai, attacking players, you're more defensive-minded in terms of breaking up play and so on. Some challenging games in those Nations Leagues. What did you learn from there that you're hoping to kind of take on into facing strong opponents again just this week?
I think I learned quite a lot. It's about, you know, making sure that, like, sometimes you might not get the ball as much, but making sure when you do have it, knowing what you're going to do before you get it, because at this level you don't really have much time to dwell, and you can't take too many touches. So it's all about, like, knowing what you want to do with the ball before you get it, and to give it your all, because here no one's going to give you anything away. So you need to work for it, and to make sure that that you're there to give it your all every time you step on that pitch.
Stella, when you first get a hold of a team, what is it that you initially want to change or work on straight away?
Well, I think that even the staff who worked previously, they did a good job, and somehow they set up the, let's say, the ground, and now we are trying to build a house. So it's not only like a one sprint, it's a long way around, it's a marathon for us. And even those games that are ahead of us, we have like 3 windows. It's not only 1 window and 2 matches. So, of course, we are trying to implement somehow our maybe idea and maybe some kind of a philosophy, but also because somehow, let's say, maybe the pool of the players, it's not so big maybe as bigger nations have. So we have to also think on maybe what we can do at the moment, and we have to mention that players are not professionals. So a lot of them, they have their work and job to do. So it depends who you have maybe at the moment in the squad, and then from there to build the philosophy and idea for the specific matches, but then later on also for the other windows. Like I said, it's a long way around.
You mentioned that you are based in Croatia most of the time, but you mentioned you're quite hands-on with your video calls, making sure you're keeping tabs on the players. As players, do you appreciate the kind of hands-on approach?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
A lot, to be fair.
Like I said, there's this openness that I love, and feedback as well. Like, she's constantly, I think it's more the hard work of it that not many people see. Like, you're constantly watching videos and then getting back to us, asking for advice, what you think is best. And I think it gives us that autonomy and that control that we still have a say in what's going on and how kind of the ship is being navigated. So I think that's something that we all hugely respect, and it's great to keep the communication not just on camp but off it as well. Like, it's a constant process, and like I said, this window might be over, but you know, we still have 2 more windows after that we want to focus on as well. So it's great.
Yeah.
Taking into account we're up against strong opposition as well, although FIFA did change the format so at this level we kind of match up with teams, with nations that are around our level. But taking into consideration how new we are to competitive football, what do you take in the sense of perhaps heavy defeats and polishing yourself off and like bouncing back up? How easy and how difficult is that to do?
I mean, we have to be realistic, and because we're a smaller nation, we know we're going to get beaten. I think the important thing is from the players that have been longest in the team in the GFA could just show the younger ones as well that it doesn't matter how much we're going to get beaten, or the important is the process and the future, no? And everyone gets beaten, everyone gets scored goals. It's just picking yourself back up and trying to either turn the game around or show at least what we can do, which is football, which is play football.
And you guys are making history, obviously, the first time we're competing in World Cup qualifiers. Maybe a question that all of you can answer individually, but what does that mean to you, knowing that this will be looked back upon a moment of massive history in Gibraltar?
I think it's amazing for us as well. We've always dreamed of having moments like this, especially, I can speak for myself, Shani, that, and Naomi as well, that we never, like when we were growing up, we never knew this was possible. We played football because we loved it, and we hoped one day we were able to get these opportunities. So now that we got them, we literally can't wait to take in every moment, and every time we step on that pitch, it's such a proud moment for us and for our families as well, because they also put in the hard work and the miles in to take us to training and to make sure that we're able to play the sport that we love.
Would you like to echo that?
Yeah, pretty much. I think we have to be thankful for the chance, the opportunity to play in these games. I mean, Nations League, World Cup qualifiers, the Euros coming, it's all massive for us. Like we've never wanted anything more than this, being recognised and actually being given the opportunity to show that we can actually play, not only, just small or island games when back then we used to do it, or friendlies. If we go way back, this is the first ever big thing, apart from Nations League, that we've been given. So I think it's time to show that we can also play.
Shania, I mean, I would say extra special for you, but you are wearing the captain's armband and you are leading the team out. I mean, you did it for the Nations League, but this is now a FIFA World Cup qualifier. Is that a little bit more special?
Yeah. Well, the World Cup connotation is always very big. But I think more so, like adding to what Tiff and I have said, like it's just a full circle moment. Like when we're younger, we initially started in a boys' team because there wasn't even enough girls to field one football team. So looking back, personally, it's a bit like surreal that I didn't even know this was possible in the world of football, and now all of a sudden you're looking on it. And I think the biggest motivation for us all really is to inspire the younger generation, because it's something that we never had growing up. So I think, yeah, like leading the team is obviously special, but I think as a whole, like we're building on so much more than I thought was ever possible. And for now, I just, like, it's a dream that it keeps on going, and there's always something bigger and better. But I think this is the pinnacle of what we've always wanted, really.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Brilliant. That's it for part one. We'll continue talking about the World Cup qualifiers in part two. Historic moment for Gibraltar. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Sports Locker. We're talking women's football with a historic moment fast approaching the national team. They're off to the World Cup qualifiers, the first time Gibraltar will be competing at this level. Guys, thank you so much for coming back here for part two. World Cup qualifiers, Kosovo, Bulgaria, Croatia. Kosovo first, how are we feeling?
Well, everyone is so excited, but at the same time very motivated because, like we said, it's a historical appearance at the World Cup, and somehow we want to, of course, have a good results.
Kosovo, I mean, in terms of the level, Croatia might just be that step above. But when approaching Kosovo and Bulgaria, what's our mindset there?
I think it's the same. Like,
I think we go with every game. We go the same, really. Whether it's Croatia, Kosovo, Bulgaria, we go for the same outcome.
Yeah. The demands of international football are the same for the three teams. Yeah, they might have different tactical setups, and that's something that we'll do our own analysis on. But as a whole, like the demands of each match will be similar, and we have to be ready for each of the games in the campaign.
Yeah.
I'm sure your style will be adaptive to the opponents, but your philosophy, what's that like in terms of football?
Yes, maybe we'll adapt some things. Depends on what the opponents maybe will do on the pitch. But also, as a staff, we are trying to help to the players to somehow be ready for everything. Like the girls already mentioned, it doesn't matter if it's a Kosovo or if it's a Bulgaria or we play against Croatia, because somehow we have to be ready all the time. And even when we prepare, we don't prepare only for one thing. We prepare at the same time, like for more things. So, like I mentioned, everyone can be ready.
Away game first, but we're back at home in no time next Saturday. How excited are you for that home game?
Yeah, playing at home is always a plus, no?
New stand as well, which you guys haven't played with. I don't think the South stand wasn't built yet.
No, we didn't.
For the last game?
No.
No, I don't think it was.
No, they put it on for the men's team. Yeah, we still hadn't played it.
No, but I think what's like the most exciting part playing at home is like watching the little girls come with their kits on and shouting and trying to spur the team on. I think for all of us it's so nice, and like we're also very thankful now that they come and they give up their time to come and support us. So I think, yeah, that's what makes it all the special. No, we've got the little kids coming, we've got friends and family also there. So yeah, and they're also going to be present for an historic moment. So it'll be great.
Do you feel that positive energy when you're playing at home? Is it that much of a difference, I suppose, when you're on the pitch?
I think it's more sentimental, no? It's your home ground. It's your people are there. Like Tiffany says, the little girls are there. It's inspiring, and you always play with a purpose because you like football and you want a good outcome. But you play with more, like I say, more feeling, no, more wanting it more, which is it's hard to explain unless you play yourself. But that feeling you get when you hear your home crowd and your family and just knowing that you're there is completely different.
And talking a bit about team chemistry, I know you've played together for a long time now, but there's a lot of younger faces in the squad involved now. What's it been like for them being part of something so historical? Do they kind of understand what moment this is, or?
Well, no.
Yeah, I mean, not even we probably understand until we get there.
Until you walk out.
You get there and you hear the music, and then that's when you get it.
You don't think, you don't know what it was like
No,
back in the day, no?
I think it happens most windows though, that we start training, and then once you get there and once we travel, and like then it starts kicking in. So I think it's good that we've done a lot of we've spent days training now for quite some time, and we've put in the extra work. But yes, it's been nice having some new faces come along, and it's always challenging. You want to have that competitiveness in the squad, and I think they've definitely added another element of that. And it's been great to just get to know other people, their stories in football, and just share our journeys with them.
You mentioned training there. Obviously, you're training quite a lot now in the lead up to the start of the competition. But before then, you had a couple of friendlies in Andorra. Perhaps not the results you wanted, but it was, I believe, you landed in Andorra and you took the first training session ever with the team. So all things considered, was there a lot of positives to take out of that?
Yeah, maybe not the results that we wanted, but to be honest, we had only 2 days to prepare. We just basically landed, and the girls had to somehow meet me, and I had to meet them. And we only, let's say, had one training session, and it was match day -1, and then we played immediately against Andorra. But let's say that somehow those 2 matches helped us to see and have a better idea on the players, on how they react, and maybe to have an idea how we can approach in the upcoming window. In terms of maybe in Andorra, we tried to play in 2 different formations, and now we know more. Maybe we cannot reveal everything today because...
Kosovo might be watching.
Yes, you never know.
Oh, of course, of course.
But definitely those games somehow helped us to know the team better, to know the play better, to know the players better, and somehow also, like you already mentioned, to include the younger ones somehow so they can gain experience and maybe then help us in the upcoming qualifiers.
Because you mentioned the young ones, and this overall is a young team. We don't want to reveal ages, but it was said here, Naomi, you're one of the oldest players, and you're still in your 20s, very young, very young. And normally in international football, we do see there be a couple of players in the mid-30s that bring that experience. And does that change anything in the dressing room, or are you happy with how young the players are? Would you have liked to have a couple of more experienced players?
I think that our, let's say, squad group is somehow really good. Let's say that those young players that are with us, there is definitely a potential. And I think that this could encourage all other younger players maybe to even work hard, because this is a pathway on how one day they can also be part of the team. So somehow maybe it's very inspiring for the younger generations. And definitely the girls that will play qualifiers now, even the younger ones, and maybe the older ones who are still young, but we have them here, maybe they will play for the national team in the next 10, 15 years. So like I said, we're just set up the ground and building the house.
First time we're playing defensively, we're going to have to be quite active. Don't give us too much, but what does Stella expect from her midfield in tough games?
I think that's the same for every game. Just make sure that we win every first and second ball. If we can't win the first, you win the second, and make sure that we work hard, we put the miles in, and to just give it our all. I think we're a very hard-working group, and I think we always give it our all when we're on that pitch. So I think that's what Spellex expects from us, and that's what she's going to get. You know, you might get players who are more talented than you, but there's something that hard work, you can always come up on top. So as long as you work hard, you can give anyone a game.
And attacking-wise, we'll definitely be chasing our first competitive goal. Naomi, you were like agonizingly close in that first game against Moldova. Tell us a bit about Gibraltar's attacking threat, you two being a big part of it.
I mean, like Tiffany says, and I said before as well, every game's the same, no? We look into having a solid defence, and then having a solid midfield, and if we do get to have chances attacking, just make sure, you know, we work hard like every other game and every other person on the pitch, and just show that we can actually give a threat, no? Have a threat onto goal and try and get an attempt. But yeah, just be strong, rapid, and ready for anything that comes.
Well, quickly running out of time, I just want to ask you all one more question, some more light-hearted than others. We'll start from Tiffany. Toughest opponent you've faced so far?
With the national team?
Yeah.
Slovakia.
Most underrated teammate?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. Underrated teammate. I would say Talia.
Good answer.
Yeah.
She's come a long way as well, considering she only started
yeah.
playing international football
She
not
was
too long
never.
ago.
She was never
basketball
a footballer.
player, no?
Yeah, she was never a footballer, and she's
good answer.
come into the quad pretty strong. Yeah.
Stella, for you, one word to describe this team?
Inspiring.
And Shania, when people look back at this period in, let's say, 10 years' time, what do you hope they say about the Gibraltar team? The most difficult one I left for you, the captain.
Yeah. Privilege, I'd put. Like, it's just making the most out of this and knowing that we're doing and making, I don't know, a historic moment that we can all share. So probably privilege.
And history
That's a
makers
good
as
one.
well,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah,
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kosovo
Thank you.
first, best of luck. And I'm sure, well, I want a bit of a shout out to get people going, buy tickets for next Saturday. Want a quick message to a camera? Does anyone want to look at?
Yeah.
You can all say something to the camera.
Yeah,
Buy your tickets Saturday.
No pointing, please.
Camera free, camera free. Message all three. You can
Guys,
say
come
together.
along, support us. You know, the link is on the GFA page. Yeah, we need all the support as possible, and without you guys, we can't really do it. So please come along and bring kids, family, friends, partners, daughters, anything.
Anyone, your neighbours, everyone. Everyone.
Yeah. Be
We need
our
all the
12th
support.
player on the field.
On patio.
I want to thank you for it.
Guys, thank you so much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
That's all we have time for on this week's Sports Locker. Again, best of luck to the Gibraltar women's national team as they set off on this historic moment. World Cup qualifiers just around the corner.